At first, nothing explodes. No alarms, no sirens, no breaking news banner that says game over. A government official steps up to a microphone and says a sentence that sounds almost boring. We are unable to meet our debt obligations. That's it. But that sentence is one of the most dangerous things a country can say. Because when a country says we cannot pay, it's not just about money. It's about trust. And once trust cracks, the damage spreads faster than any bomb. This matters right now because global debt is at record highs. Countries borrowed heavily to survive crises. Cheap money made debt feel harmless, until inflation rose, rates jumped, and suddenly repayment became real again. So what actually happens next? Let's walk through it. First, understand one uncomfortable truth. Countries don't run out of money the way people do. They don't miss payments because they forgot to budget. They miss payments because the math stops working. Here's the simple version. A country borrows money by selling promises. Those promises are called bonds. Investors buy them expecting steady interest and full repayment. As long as the economy grows faster than the debt, everything feels fine. Taxes come in, payments go out. Nobody panics. But when growth slows or interest rates rise, the balance flips. Suddenly, more money goes to old debt than to schools, roads, or hospitals. New loans are taken just to pay old ones. Debt stops being fuel and starts being gravity. That's when the phrase, "we cannot pay," enters the room. The moment a country hints at trouble, markets react first. Bond prices fall, interest rates spike. Investors demand higher returns for higher risk, which is ironic because higher rates make repayment even harder. It's like charging extra to someone already drowning. Then comes the currency. Foreign investors pull out. Demand for the currency drops. Its value falls. Imports get more expensive overnight. Fuel, food, medicine. Inflation rises not because people are buying more, but because money buys less. Now the government faces a brutal choice. Print money to pay bills and risk runaway inflation, or cut spending and trigger economic pain. Usually, they do both. Next comes the negotiation phase. This is where international lenders enter. Banks, bondholders, institutions like the IMF. The country asks for more time, lower interest, partial forgiveness. This process has a polite name: debt restructuring. What it really means is everyone agreeing to lose something. Creditors accept smaller returns, the country accepts conditions. And those conditions are where life changes for ordinary people. Subsidies are cut, public sector wages freeze, taxes rise, social programs shrink. Not because of ideology, because cash flow demands it. Here's the quiet irony. The people paying the price are usually the ones who never borrowed the money in the first place. While this happens, the country's reputation takes a hit. Credit ratings drop. Foreign investment dries up. The economy shrinks further. This creates a feedback loop. Less growth means less revenue. Less revenue means more pressure. More pressure means deeper cuts. This is how a financial problem turns into a social one. Historically, this phase is where unrest appears, protests, strikes, political instability. Because austerity isn't just numbers, it's fewer jobs, higher prices, lower confidence. At this point, outsiders often say, why don't they just default and move on? But default isn't a reset button, it's more like a scar. Some countries recover quickly, others spend decades rebuilding trust. And here's the part rarely discussed. The system is designed so that failure is slow, not sudden. No single moment feels catastrophic. Each step feels survivable, until you zoom out and realize how much ground was lost. The hype says sovereign debt is safe. Governments always pay. They always find a way. Reality says they pay until they can't, and when they can't, the cost spreads outward, to workers, to businesses, to future generations. Zoom out further and the risk gets bigger. When one country defaults, markets ask who's next. Borrowing costs rise elsewhere. confidence weakens globally. Debt isn't isolated, it's networked. Which brings us back to that calm sentence at the microphone. We are unable to meet our debt obligations. It sounds technical, responsible even, but it's a signal that growth was overestimated, that risk was mispriced, that promises were made assuming tomorrow would always be bigger than today. The uncomfortable question isn't whether countries will say this again. It's how many already can't pay but haven't admitted it yet. And when they do, will the system absorb the shock or finally show where it breaks?